Greetings everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and you're watching Spotless Mind Tarot. In this series of videos we are going to take a look into what is coming your way for the end of 2023. You can watch this video anytime from the release date to the very end of the year. There will be a total of 12 videos, one for each zodiac sign. I suggest that you watch for your rising, sun, and moon sign. Keep in mind that the messages I receive in these readings are general, so apply them accordingly to your life. All of my readings are audio recorded, and photos of the spread will appear on the screen as we progress through the reading. The format for the readings will go as follows. I will start each reading by taking a look at the current energies that you may be experiencing at the time you are watching this video. Next, I'll take a look at what is coming your way for the end of the year and what you could expect to occur during these last few months. After that, we'll get some advice from your spirit guides and see what they would like for you to know going into 2024. Then I'll pull an oracle card that will tie together the reading for you. The oracle will basically highlight the overall outcome of the year. Thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video. Blessings, Sagittarius, and welcome to your year-end tarot reading. This is good for Sagittarius rising, sun, and or moon placements. I suggest you watch for all three placements to get the most out of these readings. However, just one video should be enough. And my apologies for this late video. I had to take 2 weeks off from doing readings. And so because it's late, I am going to include the month of January. So if you are watching this at the very end of December or even in January, then this reading will still apply. Today I'll be using the Albano Waite tarot deck along with the Spirit of the Animals Oracle. So I'm going to start with the current energies to see where you guys are at this moment and to get a feel for what's happening for you, and then we'll progress into the reading and find out what you could expect here at the end of 2023. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck and pull some cards. Okay, so for current energies, we got the King of Pentacles, the Fool, and Temperance. And so with the King of Pentacles, I immediately just thought that you guys are very satisfied with where you are at this moment. A lot of you aren't budging. You're not moving in the sense that there's nothing that can knock you off your throne. You're pretty rooted in what it is that you're doing at this moment, what it is that you are experiencing. This likely has a lot to do with work and career because we are dealing with the Pentacles, but this could also be education. And just because you guys are Sagittarius, we'll just include everything related to Sagittarius. So religion, higher education, philosophy, speaking truth, honoring your truth, and all that good stuff. And this card is ruled by Virgo, and so yeah, I do feel it's a lot more to do with something work related. So it's really anything you've been working hard at, so it doesn't have to be those topics that I've mentioned. Overall, I just feel you guys are really satisfied with the results. You're really satisfied with your position in life, and so because of that, it's really interesting that the Fool card came out, because I was just like, okay, this person is not moving. There's nothing you can do. You can't, they're good. They're staying where they are. And then the Fool comes out and it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? This might have a lot to do with Mercury retrograde coming up. I believe it begins on the 12th. So Mercury retrograde begins in Capricorn and it'll go back into Sagittarius. So whatever you were doing the past few weeks that I'm recording this, today is December 4th. Whatever you were going through the past few weeks, so the end of November, I would say. And I'll actually, let me pull up the exact dates for you guys. So around November 26th to December 1st. Okay, so whatever you were going through during that time, whatever you, I would say, it has to do with what you're currently experiencing. So whatever's I said that was related to the King of Pentacles, there was something that related that happened, or that was thought about, or was planned. You know, it was seeded, basically. You know, you had planted a seed, or you just, whatever, you have a seed of it, right? It's going to come back here at the end of December. So December 22nd to around December 29th, even going into New Year's, you could expect to see whatever that was, or whatever theme was occurring, to come back. And so I feel that the Fool is inviting you to see that and to understand that, like, even though you're very, like, where you are right now, like, the throne you're sitting on is very solid and it's great and all that, the Fool is inviting you to be open to the unforeseen. And the Fool is ruled by Uranus, sometimes by Pluto, but it's assigned to Uranus. And so this is like really sudden activity, really sudden changes, and it's doing things without really knowing all the answers. You know, Uranus acts as an antenna, so it is very receptive to receiving information, and I would say has a lot to do with the element of like electricity. So that has a lot to do with thoughts and all that, because our brain runs on electrons. It's actually like, our brain's actually very electric in nature. A lot of this can be like just a thought or an intuition or something, some kind of foresight or insight or sudden inspiration that the universe doesn't want you to give up. I would say on the flip side, this is also a sign of you achieving something here and like accomplishing something major, because it's the king, and it's the King of Pentacles. He's got like all the accomplishment in the world. This could also be like saying that you guys have, because you've achieved this goal, like you're ready to go on to the next. And like, it's, you don't really have a goal or like a next interest or a new interest or anything, but you guys are ready to just jump into the next thing, whatever that is. And I guess that's pretty normal for you guys, you know, since you are Sagittarius, since you guys are a sign that's like always on the go, you're always looking for the next adventure. But at the same time, I do want you guys to take note of Mercury retrograde and how it's going to come back into those degrees of Sagittarius during those dates. So we also have Temperance, and this is your guys' card. Temperance is ruled by Sagittarius, and so this has a lot to do with management and fusion and blending things together. I actually got this card for Scorpio, and I don't recall what it was about. Oh, it did have something to do with them fusing something together. So if you guys have Scorpio placements, even if it's not your rising, sun, or moon sign, I do suggest checking that out, because it may apply, especially if you're like a Scorpio Venus or Scorpio Mars, where you have like, or even Jupiter or even Saturn. Like if you have a personal planet there, then it might apply to you, because there's something about fusing two sides of them, and it was more like the angel and the devil in them and how they have to fuse it together. But for you guys, I see it as just you doing like your normal stuff, like just the whole like accomplishing something and then moving on to the next. This also literally speaks of you guys being in your element. I am recording this during Sagittarius season, so you guys just be maybe feeling that energy, that surge of like motivation and inspiration. I also feel a lot of you are taking downtime, in the sense that like you guys are a lot more lethargic than usual. If not so much lethargic, like you're a lot less active than usual. Some of you just may be more like, maybe you're normally out and about during this time of year, but this year, like you guys are less active like that. Like you're just more secluded, because the King of Pentacles, again, like I'm just getting that, like he's not moving, he's not budging. You know, he's very content with where he's at, and he's very happy with what he has. And you know, the king is also surrounded by, it's like all these vines and greenery, and and then his robe is green, but it's almost like the plants have like taken over. Like that's how long he's been sitting there. You know, like the plants are starting to grow onto him. And that could also be why the Fool is out. It's because maybe you've been in that position for so long, and you're just like not so much sick of it or tired of it, but like you guys are just, you're ready for the next thing. You're ready for the next adventure, and you have no idea what that is, and you're not supposed to with the Fool. You shouldn't know what that is, in the sense of, you know, you're truly not going to know unless you take that first step. You know, you can make all the plans you want, and that's a Virgo. Virgo is very much into planning and timekeeping and things like that. They're into management. They do make good, like, I relate Virgo to like analytics and stuff. They're very good with looking at the small details and noticing the small details, and then working, like they don't skip steps. So like I've given that analogy before, maybe even in the Virgo reading, where I said that like Virgo doesn't skip steps like Capricorn does. Capricorn skips steps, like in the sense of like they have to climb the mountain, go climbing the mountain and jumping up, like skipping a ledge to get to a higher ledge because they know they can make it, kind of thing, you know. And so that's like Virgo energy. It's, they won't do that, generally speaking. So maybe that's like another thing that's slowing you guys down, is you don't want to skip steps, or this time you're not skipping steps, which I feel, I don't know. Okay, I completely lost my train of thought of what I was getting at there, but I think you got it. Also with the Fool, I think you're waiting for a sign. You're waiting for that next step, but realistically you have to make the next step. So like I'm hearing, what's the holdup? What are you waiting for? Temperance speaks of time as well, and I'm getting that from the Temperance, as they're saying it's time. I don't know what that is for you guys. It's going to be very personal for each and every one of you, and I do know quite a handful of people with Sagittarius placements. So yeah, like I don't know if they're watching, but it's gonna be like very, very different for everybody. And going into this reading, I even was channeling that. I thought, okay, just in case the people I know with Sagittarius placements are watching, allow me to tap into their energies. And so I'm getting just like a mix of what it could possibly be, in the sense that like I can't say what it is because I don't know. It's like I'm getting like the image of like a mixed bag, like a bag full of charms, and they're all different charms, and you don't know which one you're gonna get when you put your hand in and pull it out. Or even like when people do like giveaways and they put your name on a piece of paper and throw it in a bag and pull it out, like you don't know which one you're gonna get. It's all by luck and by chance. I'm sure there's like a whole number thing to it, you know, but I don't know why, but that's something that I'm picking up on as well. So that might be very literal for some of you, or just metaphorical. Okay, so like, I apologize for this reading. I do feel like I'm a little all over the place, and I know I have a really bad habit of saying like a lot. And I'm feeling nervous energy too, so I'm not sure if that's me or if that's somebody here that's feeling really, really nervous about something. And that could be the Fool energy as well. It's a lot of not knowing what's next, and maybe not knowing what's next is causing you some anxiety. And so with the Temperance card, it's telling me that this is all in your hands. This is all part of the plan. Also, you have the plans, you have the blueprints, You have everything you need. You're full, you're complete. There's nothing else you need to do, basically. That's what I'm getting. I'm also getting the full doesn't necessarily mean you have to get up off your throne either to take action. Like, there could just be something here where you need to change your approach. And when I say get up off your throne, I mean in the sense of like, because I do feel so heavily like this guy is just, he's so rooted in what it is that he's doing. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not seeing anything to where like you have to go do something else now. But it's more like maybe just changing approach or changing perspective. Either way, the Fool's going to bring in change for you at this current time. And the current time can be like the past week or so, or the upcoming week, or just in general, like a current thing that's been happening. So yeah, I'm gonna stop there because I also feel like you guys want me to move on. So it's like, okay, yeah, I know what's going on right now. I want to know what's going on later. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to shuffle and we're going to pull cards for what you could expect here at the end of 2023 as well as the beginning of 2024 in January. Okay, so for what you could expect here at the end of 2003 and the beginning of 2024, we got the Page of Wands reversed, the Emperor, Two of Wands, and Four of Wands. And so it's pretty much Aries energy across the board, with the exception of Page of Wands, which rules over or is ruled by Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So there's more of that Virgo energy here. But then there's Leo, so that's another fire sign. So we have all the fire signs out. So that's definitely where it was getting. You guys are just like in your element or like in your bag or whatever, which I don't know, I feel really corny saying that just now, but I keep hearing it, and so I just said it, so there, I said it. But with the Two of Wands, I'll say that there's something here about needing to make a statement. And I'm going to this card first because we have Mars and Aries here, and so it's all about that movement, that drive, that push forward. And what I'm getting from the Two of Wands, it's like you guys need to make a statement. It's somewhat in the sense you need to prove yourself, but I don't think that's like the motivation. I don't think that's the driving force behind whatever you needing to make a statement means for you. And then with the Page of Wands reversed, that goes with what I was saying about having to change perspective or look at things from a new angle or even have a new approach. That can show that here in the Page of Wands reversed. Just a new outlook and a new way of observing a situation. This could also be a sign of disappointment. And so perhaps, in a sense, I guess there is some disappointment here with the King of Pentacles because they want to stay where they are, but there's something about it where they know they have to not stay where they are, or they can't stay here for too long. There's something of that nature is coming up. So the Page of Wands in reverse, there's some kind of like disappointment in this change. Maybe even like a change of beliefs. It doesn't have to be religious or spiritual. I mean, it can be, and it could also be like political or just whatever. Like there's just a change of something you believe in, or something that I'm getting like once motivated you no longer have that belief anymore, or that's no longer the reason why you're motivated, something like that. The Emperor here is cool because that shows more of that seated on your throne energy, and so I feel like that's the energy you're looking to embody, and that's something you could expect here at the end of the year. That this King of Pentacles energy, if you act on the Fool card, which is also the Fool sits at the top of the Tree of Life, which is Chitra, and so that has a lot to do with the divine spark, the divine, like, it's the beginning of I always relate it to like your intuition. Like it's the intuitive thought without anything else. Like that's without any filters, without any action taken. It's literally the seed, and what you do with the seed is entirely up to you. And so, and that's what the Page of Wands or the pages do. They take those seeds. I'm sorry, the Fool does not sit at Keter. The Fool is the first, or the first path between Keter and Hokmah. So I get that all wrong, but Keter has aces up there. So it's interesting. So the aces sit at the top, and that's the seed that I was talking about. Okay, so this is going to get long, but the Fool is the path from Keter to Hokmah, and Hokmah is where the kings sit. And ironically, the pages sit at the bottom and Malkut at the kingdom, but the pages receive everything that had trickled down or had come down the tree. So basically, what I'm trying to get at here is that the pages take the seed and implement it, because it's as above, so below. So it's the ace's job to come down to you and to be given to you, and then it's the page's job to take it and rise up, go back up the tree, basically. And so I would say the seed that you're given is the wands, and the wands represents creativity, it represents your drive, your passions, it represents projects and work, hobbies. This is masculine energy, you know, this is fire energy. The saying for wands is I do, so it's all about doing, like actually taking the action. And so with that seed, you have to, it's almost like the Hanged Man, like you have to look at it from a different perspective. So you traditionally take a seed and plant it in the soil and water it, right? This is more like you, instead of putting in soil, you put it in like a, I believe it's what they're called, like lake of beads or something, or you put it in water instead of soil, or something like that. You know, I'm getting like, it's like propagation. Like usually when you propagate a plant, you don't put it in its exact, well, I wouldn't say usually, but a lot of times you don't put it in the environment it's going to be in, like permanently. You grow it in a different environment. So for example, if you were to propagate pothos, you propagate it in water. You can propagate it in soil too, but I think it grows faster in water. And then after the roots grow long enough, you transplant it back into soil. And so that's what I mean, where with the seed, it's like you gotta, wherever you plant it or however you grow it isn't going to stay there, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And that's the whole Page of Wands in reverse. But it will bring you to this Emperor energy, and that's exactly what I think you guys are aiming for. It's almost like you shed some of these, and it's interesting that I'm bringing up like gardening and like plants and stuff, because the King of Pentacles looks like he is being like everything's overgrown. Things need to be trimmed. I mean, there's vines growing on the castle behind him. It's just like, it's not a mess, but there's a lot of excess. And so this can be related to you needing to trim off excess, letting go of stuff you don't need. So if there's stuff you don't need anymore, you probably want to let it go. Get rid of it. It's not serving a purpose, or there's something you can gain from giving it away. And so by doing that, I feel you'll arrive here at the Emperor, where you see he's less confined to where he is. And in fact, the Emperor is a warrior. He's got armor on under his robe. So he's ready to go at any time. He's already prepared for battle. So he's more active, and he's more willing to get up and move and do something different. And that brings us to the Two of Wands again, where there's this whole statement that needs to be made. And the Two of Wands also shows that here at the end of the year and going into January, you will be on a new journey, a new path. you have, again, like you have something to prove, but it's more about making a statement. It's more about making yourself be seen and heard without having to be loud about it. Notice how he's just standing here at the top of the roof. And he's got the world in his hands. So the world is yours. But like, he's making a statement with his pose, and he's got the staff and like all this stuff. Like his vibe is just all about making a statement. And he's at the top of this roof, and so he's above everything. I don't want to say he's above everyone in like an egotistical sense, but it's more like a look at me, or like here I am. Again, like I don't see this like statement or this like proving yourself as so much as a need to be seen, versus like it's more about just your place in the world. It's about making your statement in the world. So even if no one sees it, I still feel like it's going to be public, in the sense that like you're going to put it out there. I hope this makes sense. It's really hard for me to explain, because it's not like a showy vibe I'm getting. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it there, because I'm starting to get a headache. And so with the Four of Wands, that is all about self-fulfillment. And this is the type of success you receive after Three of Wands, which would speak of expansion and being out there in the world. So like the Two of Wands is more like making your mark in the world, and then the Three of Wands is you actually going out into the world, and then the Four of Wands is your success from doing that. Basically, this is the foundation you've built, and this is more of like continued success versus something new. The Four of Wands success is like it's a continuation of what you're already building. Because again, with the Fool, how I was saying, this doesn't necessarily have to be something new that you change or pursue. And so with the Four of Wands, it's confirming that, in the sense that this is a continuation of what you're already doing. Again, with the King of Pentacles, it's like you're trimming your hedges, you're trimming the edges, you're clearing space, you're perfecting. Really interesting stuff here. Some of you may even do like a remodel or like a makeover, or what's that saying? A rebrand. You may be rebranding yourself. So maybe that's like the other part of it, is a need to rebrand. So it's, again, like you're not changing anything about your profession or whatever it is that you're passionate about. You're bringing something new to it. With the Four of Wands too, you may likely be spending a lot of time with family here at the end of the year. And it goes back with how I was saying you guys don't seem too active. At least some of you aren't going to be too active this month or here at the end of the year. So like you're likely just home a lot more. And I will say also the Four of Wands speaks of recognition. So the Four of Wands could also confirm how you'll get recognized for this statement, for whatever it is, this rebrand, or whatever it is that you're packaging up and putting out there. Expect to see recognition for it. Rewards. You'll receive something that is very fulfilling either way. Okay? So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a hard time with this reading, so I hope it makes sense. And like, it's literally giving me a headache. You guys could just be really nervous, because this is exactly what you've always wanted, because you've been waiting for this day, you've been waiting for this moment. Even if the Two of Wands is really speaking about having a moment. Spirit wants me to move on, so we're just gonna go ahead and move on then. Okay, so next I'm going to pull cards for advice from your spirit guides. So this is however you see your spirit guides. If you don't believe in spirit guides, it could be your higher self. If you don't believe in that, I don't know why you're here, but I'll say it's just any kind of like divine guidance, advice that you can receive. I hope, if anything, this serves as confirmation for something you already do know for yourself. You definitely want to go with your intuition with anything, even if you watch and get guidance from like tarot videos or astrology videos. You still want to go with your best judgment and your own inner voice. Okay, so I just noticed that my mic was not plugged into my phone. So now the audio is probably a lot better, but everything up until now was just being recorded straight off my phone and not off my microphone. So I apologize. Like, I'm such a hot mess with this. This is crazy. So maybe you guys are too. I don't know, but and like I'm feeling like flustered. My goodness. So I don't know what you guys are going through. But here, I'm shuffling for your advice now. The first card I got is the Seven of Cups. And the second card is Six of Cups. I feel like I received these two cards back to back in another reading, and I can't recall what reading that is. I want to say Leo, but again, like I don't know if that's true, so I don't know if there's anything related to Leo. Okay, so Libra had the Seven of Cups and the Chariot, so not exactly what I thought, but maybe Libra, there's something there with Libra, so maybe watch that video, like cross watch it if there's a Libra in your life that's like really significant or important or has anything to do with anything. Otherwise, just scratch what I said about what I just said. So the Seven of Cups, this can speak on just a need to cut through the fog and to just like all that glitters isn't gold. So this card can speak of trickery and like self-deception, mostly self-deception. I mean, this is Venus in Scorpio energy, and today as I'm recording this, Venus moves into Scorpio. And so maybe part of the message here is that now is the opportune time for whatever. I'll just leave it at that. Now is an opportune time while Venus is in Scorpio. There's something here you can achieve, or maybe there's something you could see more clearly. Venus in Scorpio is a quite interesting energy. I mean, I can sit here all day and talk about it, but you know, I suggest watching videos on YouTube or just consulting an astrologer or whatever and find out what this transit is like, or just the energy of what Venus and Scorpio is like, so you can get a deeper look. But Venus and Scorpio energy is like it's the opposite of Taurus, and it's Venus, which rules Taurus. And so it's Taurus can be clingy, whereas like Scorpio will handcuff themselves to you, okay? Venus and Scorpio especially, they're very, very like it's not, if not so much touchy feely, they're like grabby, like they want to get their hands on you, and like they don't want to stop, like they want to become you basically. Like, not to get creepy, but like they want to wear you, right? Like they just, it's such a, I mean, yeah, I don't advise it, you know. Not that we have a choice, but it's quite a possessive, it's possessive, that's what I'm looking for. It's a possessive energy. And so with that, there's probably something that you are holding on to. And it's not, here's the thing, it's not always a bad thing to hold on to your possessions, but like how the King of Pentacles, again, he's holding on to his possessions so much that he hasn't moved, and all these vines are growing all over him, and like the place looks like a mess, although I beg to differ when it comes to nature. It does look better when you trim your edges, right? And so the Seven of Cups is telling me that that's basically what you need to do. So there's a need to let go regardless. You gotta drop the act, drop the illusions, drop the fantasy. Not that that stuff is inherently bad, but too much of it is bad. Too much of anything is not good for you, because an excess of something is never good. You always want to keep a balance, especially in this reality we live in. It's a dualistic reality, whether you like it or not. And so, like, having balance is necessary for having a sustainable life. This is you literally just cutting off excess, cutting through the fog, and just going for what it is you want exactly. So I feel like you've accumulated a lot, and they all were very self fulfilling. But are they necessary? You know, again, you want to get rid of what's not serving you, especially at the end of the year. You know, going into New Year's, it's always like there's so many good times whenever throughout the year to like spring cleaning, for example. I usually do my spring cleaning in the fall, but like there's always times of the year and transits and whatever to like get rid of stuff. And so just for you guys, this is just a great time here at the end of the year, going into January, to clear the air, be like the emperor, where you're more flexible, you're more willing to get up and go versus always needing a plan. You know, the emperor could also speak about, you know, being ready for the inevitable as well as the unknown. Okay. And so the Seven of Cups is tricky there because there's a lot you have to clear out. Not gonna lie. And so the Six of Cups, this is about the past and nostalgia. This can be about revisiting the past. It can be about somebody coming back from the past. Regardless, it has a lot to do with the past. And we do have Temperance, and Temperance is all about merging the past and the future, or the past and the present. It's just the star cards like that as well. But like it's Temperance can speak of time management and balancing through a fusion sort of ordeal. And so the Six of Cups, that could be this, what I was saying at the beginning about Mercury retrograde and having to come back to something that occurred at the end of November. So there's a revisit to something old. And since this is advice, it doesn't want you to discard the past. It doesn't want you to discard something you thought was going to happen but didn't. Because again, with Mercury retrograde, it's going to go back to those same degrees it was in at the end of November. And then it's going to move back forward. So it moved through 23 degrees of Sagittarius to the very end of Sagittarius. It's going to go back over those degrees and then forward again. So that's how I was saying, when it comes to Mercury retrograde, it's a good time to revisit something that didn't get a good start back then. Or like you got a good start, but here at the beginning of December, you're finding yourself hitting like a brick wall. At the end of December, it should pick up back again, but not until I would say the beginning of January, when it actually goes direct. That's when you could see more progress. The advice is to pause when that moment occurs. So it doesn't have to happen during those dates, or it doesn't even have to have anything to do with Mercury, but because it's going back into your sign, it's just what's sticking out to me. Also, it's like giving something another chance. And the new perspective could be an old perspective. So the Page of Wands in reverse, and how it's like, it's planting a seed in a very different way, or like it's a propagation more than anything, which is taking something that already exists and using and growing from that seed. Again, because I said that this isn't necessarily like a change in careers or path or anything. It's like a revamp. The Six of Cups can speak on that, as well as just using what you already know, basically. And I do apologize. Like, this is so hard for me. I don't know why I'm struggling to deliver this reading, but I feel like I'm hitting some points and then like I'm losing you guys and others. So with that said, I also feel like there's a lot of secrets because it is hard for me to tap in. So the advice can deal with some kind of secret, receiving a secret or keeping a secret, or even like overhearing, or it's a personal secret. Like it has nothing to do with anybody. Like it's just you, and it's a secret in the sense of like, just like if they weren't there to see it, then they don't know it, kind of thing. So it's not like a secret like nobody has to know, right? Like You know, it's more just, it's unknown, it's not made public, and that could tie into the need to make a statement. So maybe bringing something to light, bringing a secret to light, bringing something that you've been holding on to. And you're not going to be able to do that successfully or with a clear head if you don't clear away all the bullshit here with the Seven of Cups, and to like be real here. But also, there's that clinging energy I'm getting from Venus and Scorpio, just clinging on to what you desire, what you truly want. You know what you truly want, and it's like you got to trim your hedges to see that. And I know I keep saying like the same analogies, but that's all I got. I'm sorry. So like you got to clear through the fog, because you know what you want and you see what you want, but there's so many distractions going on. And so the advice is to just get rid of the distractions, and to revisit something from the past. You can even just revisit an old mindset. There's nothing wrong with going back to an old way of being, as long as it's, you know, for growth and self-development, and it's not hurting anybody or yourself. And so yeah, I'm just gonna end it there, because I think I said what I needed to say for you guys. Okay, so oh my gosh, this is like, I don't know, I'm just being honest. Like, yeah, okay. That's how I feel. So maybe you can relate. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle card for you guys. And I decided to do Spirit of the Animals. And I'm glad I picked this instead of the crows, because like I love the crows, but like sometimes they're just too deep and like dramatic and like serious. And so like the animals are, they can get deep and dramatic and serious, but it's more lively. And I like the animals because these can be used as like spirit guides. They could even be like syncs, so like animals that you've been seeing recently. And I know with the internet, it can be hard to distinguish a sync from the algorithm itself. So that's why it's good to practice spiritual discernment, or I would say synchronicity discernment, which I kind of regret saying now. But you know, it's more like deciphering if it's just the machine or if it really is a message from spirit. Which I don't know, maybe I guess the machine could be a message from spirit, but that'd be kind of crazy. Okay, like I said, animals. I'm just going into it because I want to end this reading. I love this reading, don't get me wrong, but oh gosh. Okay. So on top of that, the oracle card is going to basically sum up everything I've been struggling to say this entire reading. So if there's one thing to take away from this reading, take away the message from the spirit animals. Again, these are spirit guides. They could even just be archetypal and or energies that you could tap into as well. If you look up, especially if you look up like the spiritual significance of the animal, whether it's some ancient text or ancient belief, or whether it's just some like new age spirit guide stuff that's still pretty valid, I feel. However you want to take it, just take it. Please just take it, okay? Just take it. So yeah, let me shuffle and we'll see what we get. Okay, so the card I got for you guys is absolutely perfect. And the card we got is Heron. And the word for this is patience. And on the card it says, create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently towards your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. And so I think that's good, because I've been feeling really nervous and like a little like antsy during this reading. So maybe it's a sign that you guys are just, I don't know, maybe that's normal for you guys. I don't know if Sagittarius is like one of those stressed out signs. But if you guys are one of those stressed out signs, like this is just a sign to slow down, in the sense of just having more patience. Which I don't know. I feel like Sag has plenty of patience. But that could just be my misperceptions. I mean, I know you guys are always on the go and always like doing something. You're definitely not homebodies. But even still, I feel in your adventures, you're still pretty patient. Like, you guys still have like all the time in the world. And I'm just thinking about like how my sister has a Sagittarius moon, but she's a Taurus sun. So it's like she has that perfect balance of like being a homebody, but also always doing something because she's like always doing something. But when she's a homebody, she is like complete homebody. Like, it's beautiful, actually. Not gonna lie. So, anyways, let me see what the book says. Okay, so in the book, there's some keywords which you're not going to see on the screen, and those keywords are patience, grace, introspection, watchfulness, wary, truth, supreme hunter, courage, significance, and feelings. Herons live in two worlds at the same time. Their feet are planted in the watery world of intuition, and their head is in the sky of the mind. They stand for long hours staring into the water and their own reflection. Introspection helps heron people know themselves and understand others. They need to be careful not to let self-absorption turn into self-criticism. The heron is usually solitary and loves the peace of quiet isolation. They can be very alone. Their shyness is not weakness, but self-preservation. If you are a heron person, you are intuitive, thoughtful, graceful, and authentic. You are a natural philosopher and ponder the deeper meanings of existence. You are aware and watchful, and these traits keep you safe. Focusing on your goals assures that all your needs will be met. Heron people know how to wait for opportunities to arrive. Their patience is a virtue. Those with heron as a totem have an elegant manner that is their natural way of being. Heron people know how to look within and find answers that can lead them to their dreams. If heron glides into your world, take some quiet time and self-reflection and ask the wise heron to help you know yourself, your strengths, and the path to your purpose. Now, on the contrary, it says, don't let your introspection turn into self-criticism. Don't let your frustration with others' inadequacy swamp your joy of living. Have you forgotten your need for solitude and quiet? Take some time alone to find balance. So ironic how I mentioned about my sister and how she can be a complete homebody, but is also like always doing something at the same time. And so perhaps that's something you guys need to embody here at the end of the year, to find that balance of allowing yourself to be completely lazy and like with yourself, and not so much lazy, but just with yourself. Definitely self-care, definitely time alone, definitely cutting out the noise in any way possible that you can, whether it's an everyday thing or just like on the weekends or whatever it is. That's something to do and something to consider. Also with herons, I'll say, because I'm somewhat familiar with them from watching like bird cams, they're pretty chill. Like, they're not very active. You know, they're pretty stationary. Of course, they get up and go whenever they please, but for the most part, when like, especially the great herons, when you watch them, they're literally just standing there and staring. Like, sometimes it looks really creepy, especially with the great herons. Like, I don't know, like, what's going through your head, bro? Like, seriously. And so that's that self-contemplation. That's just taking the time to really sit with your own thoughts. So that's basically the advice I have for you guys. All right. And so before we wrapped it up, I got a channeled song for you guys. And look, I channeled a song the other day, and then this morning I had a song in my head and it wouldn't leave. So I don't know. I'm giving you guys two songs, and so I hope you're happy with that. But no one else is getting two songs. But because I'm undecided and because this reading, I don't know, just whatever, you guys got two songs. So the first song is Ryan Trey, Nobody. And the second song is Tinashe Needs. And so go ahead and check them out if you're into channeled messages. So if you don't know anything about channeled songs, and just the fact that music is a vibration and a frequency, and it can be a spiritual experience if you want it to be, especially with the right kind of music and the right kind of content. You can channel literally anything through song. I think largely because it is just a vibration, and we are made of sound. We are like, this universe is quite literally a song, and there's a meme for that. And so, like, yeah, music is just, it's powerful, right? Maybe there's a message in those two songs that you can pick up on it by listening to them. So go check that out if you're into it. Otherwise, I'm done with this reading, all right? If you haven't yet already, please hit the subscribe button, tap the notifications bell, and like this video. By liking this video, you help to push it into the YouTube algorithm for other people to find. Follow my profile on Instagram at Spotless Mind Tarot. Replace the I in mind with the number 1. If you would like to book a private reading with me, my readings are available on my Etsy shop, kaleidoscopeescape.etsy.com. All links and all other stuff is in the description. I make sure to include everything in there so you're good to go. Also, do me a huge favor, drop a comment on this video. Let me know if this reading resonates with you or if it doesn't resonate with you. It also lets me know that you're here with me, and that way I can maybe expect you to come back for future videos, and I'll be able to tap into your energy the next time I do a Sagittarius reading. Otherwise, you don't have to say anything because I already tapped into your energies by you watching this video. So thank you so much for watching. I'm very grateful for your presence, and I'll catch you in the next video.